Good day, good morning, good afternoon. It's Roger Roadside here saying hello. Hello. Listen, it's just I'm going to say it's a quick one, but I don't foresee it to be a quick one this morning. I think it's probably going to be a long one, but I will try to keep it as brief as possible. Bit of radio silence over the last few days. I had my birthday. Thank you for all the well wishes from no one on Monday, which was the 2nd of Feb. And then I was away on a conference for 2 days, so I had to pretend like I was actually doing some work. So apologies for the lack of video content. I know the millions, the masses out there have been waiting for it. But here we are. We're back today on another glorious sunny UK day here in the greatest of Britain. People are singing and dancing down the streets, joyous with all their cash-filled pockets, their pantries overflowing with fresh fruit, veg, protein, kids just well-behaved and responsible, no one stabbing each other. It's just a great place to live, Great Britain. Why don't you go home? Some people may say, well, to be honest, my home's probably not that much dissimilar, and probably in the same sort of state. But also, I've got a family here now that I can't leave. But listen, I love Great Britain. I think the UK is a brilliant place. I came over here because even though Australia is lovely, and I really do love Australia, but as far as shared values go and foundations of religions and beliefs and just general common sense and respect and decency were very similar between Australia and Britain, and that's why the move over here wasn't too much of a push. But has it changed a lot in the last few years? 100%. And look, it's not everywhere. It's not necessarily everywhere. I think it's getting towards everywhere, but at the moment, I think if you go 20 minutes, 30 minutes north of London, you start seeing some clearer skies and some familiar faces. But anyway, look, today's video is not about that. Today's video is about Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer, the original Dalek in Doctor Who, Mr. Robot Man himself. It's just, do you know what I find frustrating? I for the last 12 months, 18 months, people have been calling Keir Starmer out. People have been highlighting his shitness. People have been highlighting his what do they call it? Like wet back, or just spinelessness, just sheer lack of ability to lead and be a person who commands respect and gives respect and commands respect. Who's got a clear sense of what needs to be done and how he's going to do it. Just for the last 12 to 18 months, myself just in my own little circles, but also people on the radio, people in other news outlets have been trying to point out the sheer lack of ability of this Prime Minister. And it's frustrating because it kind of takes, what happened at the Epstein Islands and all the Epstein relationships between people and with all that sort of coming to light, it takes something like that to unravel this Prime Minister and potentially be the final nail in the coffin. And for me, I think that's a little bit of a cop out. 100%. The fact they didn't vet Mendelsohn correctly and went ahead against. I am trying to keep it clear, all right? I'm trying to keep it clear and concise. Besides the fact that he went against, advice from intelligence agencies and all sorts of stuff, and still went ahead with that. It's just, you know, I found it really. I was listening to a little bit of PMQs the other day, and you know, when he was saying, you know, our thoughts and our prayers are with those who were victims in that scandal and all sorts of stuff. What about the rape victims here in the UK? What about the thousands of girls that have been groomed, abused? What about the thousands and thousands of British white girls who, even to this day, are getting absolutely fucking slaughtered and not slaughtered, but abused and you know, raped and all that sort of stuff? What about them? What are you doing about them? Nothing. You haven't been doing jack shit. Why? Because you're wrapped up in it. And you know, this whole Mendelssohn thing and this whole situation, it just further highlights the fact that all politicians, each and every one of them, more often than not, have got dirty hands, have done some fucked up things, are doing some fucked up things. You know, Labour all up, you know, before they got into power, talking about how clean their benches, their party is, talking about how they're the adults, talking about how they're you know, prim and proper, and you know, they've got a good head on their shoulders and this, that, and the other, and they'll get things done. Will you? Will you? No, you won't. Not a chance. You're just as bad as the others. You know, we got rid of Boris and we got rid of all that side because they had a couple of parties during, you know, COVID time, which, you know, I agree that was, you know, a kick in the teeth for all of us who had to stay indoors, and for all of us that were separated from loved ones and, you know, missed certain events, and you know, that was tragic in itself. And for them to have, you know, an office party and be intermingling and stuff like that, yeah, that was a bit of a kick in the teeth. But we've now shifted over to a party who, you know, one of the major key positions was swanning around with a massive paedophile, was giving you know, financially sensitive information to other parties while everyone else is crumbling, while everyone else is losing money and stuff like that. He's giving the inside track to other people, so other people can, you know, his friends can make money. It's just ridiculous, you know. It just further highlights the fact that, you know, as much as we'd like to think we're in a democracy, as much as we'd like to think we've got freedom of speech, as much as we'd like to think that you know, we've got the ability to control our own future, the sad truth about it is, and look, I know this will probably only be about 3 or 4 people watching this, but the sad truth is, we don't. It's all, everything is controlled. And look, it might not necessarily be controlled by one person or one family, you know, just held up in some sort of secret meetings or anything like that, but our lives are just controlled. We have no ability to make changes. How many times over the last 12 to 18 months has the Keir Starmer shown that he's incapable of doing the job? Multiple times. And it's only because of the fact that this situation with the Epstein files and the relationship between Epstein and Mendelssohn has come to light, that this is now, you know, what about 6 months ago when we were talking about the rape gangs, when we were talking about the grooming gangs, and we were talking about Starmer's involvement in not prosecuting half of them? What about, I mean, that to me is a bigger fucking cause of concern than, you know, look, if someone lies to you, I mean, fair enough, he shouldn't have gone against the bloody intelligence's advice and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, if someone lies to you, someone's lied to you. I don't, you know, in some respects, I don't necessarily put Starmer at fault for that. It's more the case that he knew, you know, that there's other certain things that he knew that, you know, if it was myself, I just would have steered clear of that fella. just purely on the fact that he did have an association with someone who had come out to be a pretty massive fucking pedo. But anyway, I digress. Listen, I wanted to keep it short. I wanted to keep it sweet. What do you think? Are you happy that the demise of Sir Keir Starmer seems like it's pretty much on the cards? It seems like we're not too far away from this awful Prime Minister who's completely incapable and inept to be a politician. You know, as a politician, he makes a good human rights lawyer, and everyone hates human rights lawyers because they're all a pack of cunts. So, listen, what are your thoughts on the matter? In saying all of that, is there anyone else better in the wings due to come in? Wes Treating, Angela Rayner. You know, who else is on the cards that, you know, are we? Is this just the calm before the storm? We get someone like Angela Rayner in. Is it only going to get worse? Listen, what are your thoughts? Get your comments down below. Good to be back. I'd be interested to hear what you think, and make sure you like and subscribe the video. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. Hope you're all well. This is Roger Roadside saying bye-bye. Bye.